Swinburne University of Technology.
Hi everyone, in this video we are going to look at histograms. We're also going to look at how you go about copying and saving graphs. So the histogram function in R is just simply HIST, and then we tell R what data that we would like. So I am going to use the cars data set that we've seen before, and so remember the $sign to refer to a particular vector in it. So I'm going to look at speed, and that's all I need to just produce my very simple looking histogram. Here in RStudio, if I want to export, just got the export button. I can copy to the clipboard. I can also save as an image. When I save the image, you can see that I have a whole lot of different options on what kind of file, aspect ratio, dimensions, where it's going, and so on. If I'm in the base R, it's a little bit more limited. Here's a graph I was working on earlier. I can right click, I can copy and paste as a metafile or a bitmap. So a metafile takes more information with it, so it's generally the better one. And I can save as a metafile or a postscript, so it's a little bit more limited in there. If we come back to our histogram, we can see that it didn't really give us a very interesting title and a very good axis label. And the reason for that is because we didn't tell it what we wanted. In particular, I'm never ever a fan of seeing a graph where the name of the graph is in the graph title. So histogram of just seems very redundant, because if you didn't know that this was a histogram, me telling you it's a histogram is not going to be very helpful, and if you already know it's a histogram, then it's just being stupid for me to tell you that it's a histogram. So let's look at how we can add a title. So in our function we can add a new argument. So any of the stuff that goes in this round bracket is called an argument, and I can put in an informative title. You'd be depressed to know how many times I've seen that in undergraduate assignments if I've done something like this as an example. And for my x-axis label, I can just type in xlab, and then I type in whatever I want. So I'm pretty sure it's in miles per hour. And you can see that I've now, it's redrawn the histogram, and it's given it an informative title and also the an x-axis label. The other thing that I might be interested in doing is changing the width of these bars. And there's a whole lot of different ways to do that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to have a look at the help. So remember question mark and then the name of a function. Take us to the help. And here's our histograms help, and you can see there's a whole ton of stuff in here that we can use to make changes, make a histogram look different. So where we've looked at xlab, we've looked at main, but you can see a whole lot of different stuff. One that I'd encourage you to have a look at is breaks, and you can see there's actually 5 different ways that R can go about looking at how it sets up the columns. So we can give it a number, we can give it an algorithm, we can give it a set of cut points. So the most simple one is to just give it a single number, and with our arguments, any that have an equal sign, it doesn't matter where within the round brackets we put it. We could put it in the end, we could put it somewhere in the middle. So if we say breaks equals, and if we just give it a number, the single number will tell us how many cells or how many bars we're going to end up with. So we'll hit that, and you can see we now have 10 bars on our histogram. So with all of the graphing functions, there's a huge amount of flexibility, and you will end up spending considerable time looking at the help, because there's just so many different things that you can alter and change. A decent chunk of it is done for you by default, but there's a lot of flexibility in how we can go about changing things.
This has been a Swinburne production.